Howdy duties, we have work to do. So we're on the engine today. Like I said last time, this is a continuation from the, what did we do? I can't remember. Anyway, space of time to get the gearbox on, time to get it working. Let's go. So in here we have a clutch release bearing for this Gearbox 5-speed BMW gearbox. That sits in there. Then we've got our M3 clutch plate, pressure plate. Then we have our clutch material, which sits on there. And then, because I'm tight, I didn't want to pay for a single mass flywheel for a BMW M3. I bought a pretty new dual mass flywheel for an M3 instead, which fits on in there, and of course it'll all line up nicely. And around here somewhere I have teeny tiny, oh look at the state, where's all that come from? A teeny tiny pilot bearing which sits on the output shaft like that. That's to make sure that it all sits concentrically and supports the output shaft of the gearbox. That's that. So now, if I put a straight edge across there, so if I measure from this face here, which should normally bolt up to a flywheel, to the top of this, oops, over there, to the top of this, we get 42.5 millimeters. 42.5 minus the width of this, which is 26.5, is, I'm going to cheat, get my calculator out, make sure I get it right. 42.5 minus 26.5, 16. So the distance between this edge here and this edge here is 16 millimeters. So to get to this face here, I need a 16 millimeter spacer with a pilot bearing hole in it. The pilot bearing is stuck. I'll come back to that. Next we need to do the same thing to the engine. So we need to go from this plate here to the outer edge of this plate, or this adapter plate, which is the end here. So this here to this here is same thing again, that across there like that. Measure this. We have 34. I'm going to double check that's zeroed. Yes. So 34 minus 26. 34 minus 26.5 gives us 7.5. Add the initial 16 from last time means I need a spacer of 23.5 millimeters. Hopefully that all made sense. So I'm going to make that spacer out of this bit of aluminum. However, we have a problem because this is too big to sit in the lathe. So what I'm going to do, I think, and this is the best way I can think of mounting it without drilling the holes I need for these anyway, what I think of doing is drilling a hole right through the centre of this, because I'm going to need a relief hole for the centre, putting a bolt that's big enough through and then clamping the bolt on the other side. It's not going to be ideal, but I think that's the best way to do it. So let's go and do that first, and then we can put it in the lathe and start turning it to size. Look at the mess again. Remind me not to do favours for people again. Now, what I think I'm going to do is, I have these. So, that long enough? Yes. That fits on there, and then we can clamp it in there on the lathe. It's only to turn down this one edge enough so I can clamp it properly in the lathe. So now I need to find the centre of this. 127mm, half 120 is 60, half 7 is 3.5, so 63.5. That's going to be our centre-ish. Right there. So let's put the centre pop, if I can find it. So let's put a centre pop right in the middle there. Nice soft aluminum, and then we're going to run through it with a smallish drill. This is a quarter freedom units, and it looks all chewed up. Maybe I won't use that one. What's this one? This is a 6mm, a nice 6mm, run through the middle of that on the drill press. Let's do it. Trying to drill all the way through this with my rubbish drill press, so I just tapped it, put a bolt in it, and now it's solid. As you can see, it's a little bit too big to fit in here, so what I'm going to do is just I'm going to face this off and hopefully turn it down enough so I can fit it in my chuck. That took forever, but now I've got the basic shape. So the pilot bearing fits in there. I'm not going to push it in yet though, because I actually want to get it out again. So the pilot bearing sits in there. I'm going to drill all the way through at some point, and I also want to drill both sides so I can knock that bearing out if I ever need to. It is a bit thicker because honest, this takes absolutely forever to turn down. So I've just turned down my thickness that I want, and I might take it to the bigger lathe to just face all this off to make it flat, and then drill the or turn the hole in the middle for the crankshaft recess. Now I need to drill the holes to make it fit into the crank. Now this is a pattern for the 1UZ flywheel bolt pattern. I need to mark these out and drill them straight down all the way through, and then a little bit bigger, about the size of a cap head. I can fit cap heads in there, and they need to be as small as I can get them. I haven't ordered them yet either, so it's gonna have to we're gonna have to wait and see what happens there. So I think maybe my little trick again might work. I'll just have to do it to a different drill bit. What we got here, too small. too big. Too small. Oh, hello. Got it. I'll go and turn the end down on the lathe quickly. Done again. Nice little point. Now, just need to centre this. Get my tapometer. Tap it, tap, tap. I am forever putting stuff down. There it is. Tap it, tap, tap. Okay, ready and tap. Oh, you moved! Tap. Let's tape this down. Okay. Tap. Tap. There's the there's the pattern. Need to drill through now with the small drill bit and then through with the 10mm. Back over to the drill press. Eight holes down, another 8 to go. I'll drill them out 10mm. Using WD-40 makes a hell of a difference. I suggest if you're ever drilling into billet aluminium that you chuck a bit of this on it. It works, it works. Right, where's my 10mm? That was getting hot towards the end, but all done. That's one side. Let's go and see what it looks like with the checker plate on it. So a quick check I think I can do is if I put this over there like that, and if I can get a bolt in every one of these holes, 2, 3, 4, then we're going to be good. And this one fits in there. There, there, and there all at the same time. So it does. It looks like it'll work. And this is a really fun game to play. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Okay, I'll stop. We should try the flywheel now. Let's have a look. God, this weighs an actual ton. So that should sit in there like that. Nice. And there seems to be plenty of room. See if I can show you. So this slides on. That is a nice solid fitment. Pilot bearing goes in there. Where is it? There it is. Pilot bearing in there for the input shaft to go into. And then if we look down each one of these holes, if we turn it enough, each one of these holes has, use the flashing light from the camera, at least something in the aluminium to drill into. Yes! Woohoo! And these are going to be drilled and tapped, so that makes life much easier. But first, I need to, let me put you back. Let me put you back. But first, I need to drill these holes out to fit a cap head. Now I have a standard M10 cap head here somewhere. So there's our M10 cap head. That is 8.8 millimeters. No, we want it there. 9.84. Can you see that? 9.9, just about. Close enough to 10 to me. And the cap heads themselves are 16.25. So that means when they sit in there, these holes need to be 16.25. Now I bought some 16mm drill bits that I could run down there. So, a quick Google of M12 tap drill size, and M12 by 1.75 says, what the hell is 1330 seconds? Ah, freedom unit. Lucky for me, in my box of borrowed drill bits, I have, focus, can you see that? If you can't, it says 1330 seconds. So that's what I'm going to use. Finally, my freedom bits have a use. Okay, I ended up going with a 10mm drill bit in the end because my 1330 something freedom units drill bit was blunt and I couldn't be bothered to sharpen it. Anyway, there's the new holes. There are some that are really close that I'm not 100% happy with, but I don't think I could have done much different unless I ticked it over a little bit that way, but then we'd be getting close down here as well. So I don't know. We'll tap these out and we'll see how they go. Put in 12, idiot. Get the right tap, you idiot. M12, not M10, that's why it was really loose. I'm going to just go on the edges with this to help it go through as well. Ain't gonna fit. Okay, take two. What's this like? That'll do. Just to help tap get in. Bit of lubrication for this as well. Last thing I want to do is snap a tap in here. Alright, don't like you anyway. Use the wrong thread. These are fine thread. Pooh! These will fit more. I should have checked. I can rethread it. There's no dramas. Well, it is a drama, but that'll teach me to check. Thankfully, I've actually got an M12 by 1.5 tap. So let's do all the other holes first. The holes realistically need to be bigger now though. I might run a 10.5 down them. or we could wing it. Okay, I finished tapping all these holes. I'm only really worried about one, which is that one. It's rather close, but you look at the other side, I'm rather close that side as well, so maybe I could have turned it slightly that way, but I don't know. I think this will do because these bolts are only going to be catching right at the back end anyway. I've also drilled 2 holes in the middle, so I've drilled a relief hole in the middle for a start for the shaft, 2 relief holes then, so I can actually tap out the pilot bearing if I ever need to change it. What I'm going to do now is press the pilot bearing in, and we'll give it a test fit without these bolts because I don't have these bolts, and I'll have to trim down the back end to make it final size. Okay, there's the pilot bearing. Nice, I like that. This then fits on the gearbox. Don't you? Yes, you do. Yes! That fits there. I'll put bolts through the other side. This now needs to be turned to fit that. And then we'll work on height. So I'm going to start turning that now, and hopefully it'll be the right size. So there it is with pilot bearing. Fits on there. I need to re-drill these. Be quiet. I need to drill these a little deeper with a flat bottom. I'll show that soon, but I'm missing the bolts. So when I get the bolts, we'll sort that out. What I'm going to do now is test fit it without bolting it on to the engine because I just need to test fit it. So I'm going to do a little dry fit, see how we go. Bolts fit, this fits, on it goes. It's not going to stay, I need to bolt it. Well, I guess I'm waiting for the bolts, but I can take some measurements on the gearbox, see if it all works. So that, there, that, in there, in the pilot bearing. Now all I need to do is measure the distance. So we have that there, like that, and the distance is 15.4. I think that's pretty good. So it is the distance from there to there, 15.4. No, it is 10. I've messed up somewhere. Good thing is though, I made it too big rather than too small. I guess I'll have to wait for my bolts to turn up and do a dry fit, see if it all works. So that'll have to wait. Okay, postman's been and he's brought me a load of fine threaded cap head nuts. Cap head bolts. These need to go in there. Yoink. That there, safe. These need to go in there, but they need to sit flush. So I need to drill out these holes, and I also need to drill them as a flat bottom, so the flat bottom of the bolt sits correctly. So what I'm going to do is turn down a drill bit that I have. First I'm going to drill the holes, then I'm going to use the turn down drill bit to flatten the bottom of the hole off, and then we're going to bolt it up to the engine, trim this down to the correct size, put the gearbox on, and hopefully we'll be ready. Okay, I cut the end off the drill, so it's now
flat on the end. I cut some reliefs in and it works. So I'm just going to go around all of these now, make sure that the bolts sit flush, and then we'll trim this to size.
Cover the place in man glitter, but we have all 8 bolts. Just needs to be bolted into the engine, and then the flywheel can be bolted to this then. Awesome. Okay, let's see how well it bolts up first, then we're gonna trim it to size. Okay, that's flywheel on. I think it's sticking way too far out, but flywheel is on. Get out of my way. I need to press the pilot bearing in there. And let's put the clutch on.
Okay, there it is, the clutch assembly with a huge space in the back. And fairly central. I may make a clutch alignment tool because that's going to be a pain otherwise. But now I need to measure from this edge to this edge and see if it correlates with that edge to this edge, but with that edge when it's out, which is there. Okay, so having measured from this edge down to this edge, that is 107 millimeters, and from this edge to this edge is 102 millimeters. And if we look, the clutch fingers do actually stick out a little bit more than that, so I'm within 2 to 3 millimeters, which I think will actually be pretty spot on. There's only one way to find out, is to put that gearbox on that engine. Let's give it a go. Lost now. I seem to be my spacer amount too far off, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think maybe the input shaft is catching on my pilot bearing, so I might take the pilot bearing out, see if it goes in, just to
get the measurements right, and if it does go in, it means I need to modify the pilot bearing hole a bit more.
Well, that seems to have worked. There's the plate, there's the bolts, and you haven't done it right if you haven't got some left over. That's what I was always told. Anyway, the clutch is in there, minus a pilot bearing, so I need to sort the pilot bearing out. But if we see through here, see if I can get some light, that is pushed all the way back, ready to be acted upon by a master cylinder. So, with a bit of luck, clutch alignment tool, get that pilot bearing in, bolt this on for the last time, job done. Manually converted. Okay, gearbox is on. Woohoo! There's a couple of things I'm worried about. Shh. There's a couple of things I'm worried about, but I think it'll be okay. If not, I'll only lose my legs. But yeah, that's going in the car soon because we need to do some fit checks. Exhaust wiring needs to be done, so I need to find the bits that need to be wired up to what in the car. Some plumbing, some power steering bits, lots of little bits that I just need to put the engine in the car to make sure it's all hunky-dory. And it'll probably end up coming out again because, hey, it's me. And like I said, there's the clutch. I'm not 100% sure it's going to work. I don't know if that spacer is too thick. If it is too thick, it's no dramas. We can pull it out. We can turn a bit down on the face. And hopefully it'll all work great. Maybe. Anyway, that's enough for today. Next time we'll chuck it in the car and do some other bits out there. Like, share, subscribe, do all the bits, and come back and see me next time. Ciao! Oh, it's warm in here.